hearts are connected to our souls, and our souls only yearn to do right. Our hearts are like vessels, and when these vessels are full, we cannot put anything else into it. So stop filling it with sins. Stop filling it with hatred. Stop filling it with intoxicants. Stop filling it with the need to want to do wrong. Empty it out and fill it with the love for your Allah. Because in the love for your Allah, we will be able to find the ability to do right. It gives me great pleasure to introduce Brother Rafic Mayet from the rehab, president of the whole rehab. All the contact details are here as well. Brother Rafic, just a warning, there are some really trigger warnings in the speech, so please be aware of that. But it needs to be said, this is something where we are not going to roll back, inshallah.
السلام عليكم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى اله واصحابه سيدنا محمد وبارك وسلم. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي امري واحلل من لساني يفقهوا قولي. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. يا ايها الذين امنوا انما الخمر والميسر والانساب والازلام رجل من عمل الشيطان فاجتنبوه لعلكم تفلحون. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. يا أيها الذين آمنوا قوا أنفسكم وأهليكم نارا. Alhamdulillah, all praise due to Allah Ta'ala, the sustainer of the heaven and the earth, wherever I may be. First of all, I would like to thank everybody that is instrumental in putting this program together, especially Sister and Dr. Aisha Umar and everybody who's helped with her team to put this program together. Allah Ta'ala reward and guide and accept the efforts, inshallah. The brothers have been telling me that we have to call a spade a spade. And inshallah, we'll try and see as much as I can put forward to see how he can help us with this program, inshallah. Allah Ta'ala has given us three beautiful gifts. Allah has given us three beautiful gifts. One is Iman. Two, Allah Ta'ala has given us Muslim. And three, Allah Ta'ala has given us human beings. What we do understand that the human part is temporary, the being part is eternal. So when a person dies, the human part will disintegrate in the grave, the being part goes to Allah. So when a person consumes anything that is haram, the being part will not accept, so he will not allow the human part to perform halal actions. It's like when a person is normal and we are all sitting here, we can be all normal. If I put a bottle of alcohol here and I put three bags of drugs here, we go immediately from sanity to insanity, from moral to immoral. Why? The being part do not accept, so you don't allow the human part to perform halal action. That is why then the lying, the cunning, the manipulation, the irresponsibility, the anger, the aggression, the violence, the abuse, all these things kicks in. So when you understand, Allah has given us what a beautiful faculty. Because being human beings, Allah has given us a faculty, and that's a brain. We have the ability to distinguish between what is right and wrong. We have a choice. Like they say, the most definite inevitability in life is death, we're all going to die. But what's also inevitable in life is challenges, but being defeated is optional. We have a choice. So we have this faculty to choose between what is right and wrong. Allah has given us this faculty. And I'm sure we all understand that we have a scourge, okay? An uncontrollable scourge. A lot of people say that it's a disease. Drug addiction is not a disease. A disease is something that is inflicted to a human being by Allah. Sugar, cancer, lung problem, kidney problem, stomach problem. Those diseases, doctors can give you comfort, they can't give you cure. Cure is in the hand of Allah. Addiction is a choice a person makes. So we need to understand that it's a scourge that's currently affecting every facet of our life. Look at our schools, our madaris, our colleges, our varsities, our Islamic institutes. Every aspect of our lives and every facet, every faculty is infected or infested with substance abuse. It's the same scourge that sees no color, no race, no religion, no gender. It doesn't see age, it doesn't see rich, it doesn't say poor. To give an example, the age, the youngest child I had, a mother brought to Maharishburg was 6 years old. On crack addiction. The youngest child I kept in Mahalisburg was 7 years old on crystal meth. Understand? Sometimes, before I go into the whole drug part and the addiction part, we need to understand how much of quality time are we giving our children. How much of time? Because why? 80% to 90% of the patients that you sit with, they come up with two things. What happened? When I was young, there was no quality time, one, and there was no communication. We've come to a stage where I remember our time, if you do something wrong, or you sit down, you get a story saying, Jahannam, Jahannam, Jahannam. You can't do that now in these times. In these times, we need to sit down with a child and explain. We have to give them the quality time that they require. To give you an example, I had a patient that got a suspended sentence for 3 years. They caught him with some drugs. And in between, they set him out, they gave him a suspended sentence, and they caught him once with one rock. And they gave him 3 years because his suspended sentence was 3 years. And alhamdulillah, he kept on writing for me from the correctional services that please, I need help, my parole. If you can help me, I need to spend my parole at Mahalisburg. I thought initially this guy must be playing fools, so I left it once, twice, three. On the fourth day I responded. And when I responded, alhamdulillah, with the grace and the mercy of Allah, they allowed him to come and spend his 18 months with me. After one year, he came to the office one day and he told me, Uncle Rafiq, I have a 13-year-old daughter. I have a 13-year-old daughter with absolutely no communication. We don't have any communication. She goes to my mother, she doesn't speak to me, doesn't talk to me, doesn't do anything with me. But please, if you can arrange something where I can start rebuilding my relationship with my daughter. I said, inshallah, next time your mom comes and visit you, then to bring your daughter with. So alhamdulillah, she came there one Sunday when it was family counseling. She sat down and she was sitting in front of me on the couch. And I said to her, Assalamu alaikum, well dressed in abaya, scarf, alhamdulillah, looking very good. I asked her that, I want to discuss something about your father. She put her hand up. I said, what's wrong? She said, don't talk about my father. I said, why? She said, uncle, I was born in a crack home. My mother met my father by drugging. My mother and father used to sell everything in our house. Whatever my granny bought, my mother and father used to sell it. I used to see them killing each other every night. Every time my mother buys a bed or a mattress, it's my mother and father. My granny buys, my mother and father sell it. We don't have one teaspoon in our homes. We sleep on cardboard boxes. Middle of the night when I was 7 years old, I used to go on the streets and go and fetch my mother. Why? Because she used to go to the neighbors and borrow money. So you can't tell me anything about my mother nor my father. I said, okay. So I asked her, what do you want? I want to discuss your father with you. You know he's in the facility. You came in visit him here. What do you want? What do you think she said? Brothers and sisters in Islam. She said, I want a hug. I never got one for 13 years. All I want is a hug. I never got a hug for 13 years. So when last did we sit at a table and talk to our children or communicate with our children and discuss these issues? What we really need to understand, that children sometimes cannot find comfort in their homes to communicate or talk to their parents. So what they do is they go find it outside. And they might be in the wrong company. Understand? A lot of times our children are either abused, or they're either molested, or they're either being bullied in school. All these things we don't know about. I had a beautiful girl that came to me. She was 12 years old when she came. She was 14 years old when she came to me. Okay, she was abused or raped by her mother's boyfriend. Understand? And her words were to me that uncle, I hate what my mother said. I said, what did your mother say? And I said, why the boyfriend was raping me, my mother told me, baby's okay. She told me, baby's okay. I said, okay. And said, tell me more. So when I sat with her, she came with her father. She took her father to take her top off. She took her top off, and I see she had cuts from her neck right to her ankles, blade cuts. So when we came to understand what she's up to, we realized she's creating physical pain to suppress emotional pain. Nobody understood her. When she told her father said, my sister will go. And her father knew who it was. Understand? So children, they need the ability to sit and talk to us openly, without any reservation or hesitation. But we don't have that today, because we don't have time. You speak to a parent, you're working so hard, I'm working for my children. But when your children needed you when you were young, you weren't there. You're working your whole life for your children. You make enough money for your children, but when the children needed you, you were not there. When they needed somebody to talk to you, you were not there. When they wanted to communicate with somebody, you were not there. When they were going through difficulty in life, you were not there. Understand? I had a patient who was raped when he was 11 years old by his ustad. Okay? His father said, because he's a Maulana, our Izzat will go, we can't. The father used to allow the Maulana to come and stay by the house, not knowing what he's doing to the child. Up to today, he's 45 years old. 45 years old. Understand? He comes, whenever he comes to Johor to do his buying, he goes to a gay club and sleeps with a man. Though he's clean of addiction, he drove him to cocaine. So we need to understand what is happening in our community. I don't think we understand that. We take it for granted. A lot of parents are in denial. They don't care what happens. As long as it's not in my house, my neighbor's house. But wallahi, I'm telling you, brothers and sisters of Islam, we don't take this to the next level of understanding addiction. The next generation will be a generation of drug addicts. The next generation will be a generation of drug addicts. So we need to understand it as well. I think before I carry on, what we need to understand also is that we need to understand what addiction is. A lot of time people are like, I don't understand it. He's selling this, he's pawning this, he sold his car, or he sold this, or he sold that. I don't understand anything. We need to understand what addiction is. To define addiction, addiction is an uncontrollable, unmanageable desire. There are 3 stages of addiction. 1 is your pre-dependency phase, 2 is your codependency phase, and 3 is your chronic phase. In your pre-dependency phase is when a person is experimenting. We all know that obsession is psychological. When a person is obsessed with something, your body becomes physically compulsive. It means if I'm obsessed with chocolates, my body will want to eat it. If I'm obsessed with roti, my body will want to eat it. If I'm obsessed with the dough, my body will want to visit it. So obsession creates physical compulsiveness. So when a person is experimenting in his experimental stage, okay, he tries maybe weed, crack, cocaine, crystal, PCP, angel dust, heroin, tar, sugars, whatever drug he tries. Once he's trying in his experimental stage, he tries his different type of drugs. Once he finds a choice of drug, he's no more experimenting. That means if he's taking a stimulant like coke or crystal meth, he needs a down benzodiazepine, or maybe he will take alcohol or meth, yeah? Once he finds a choice of drug, he goes to his second stage of addiction. That means now he's no more experimenting. He's found his choice of drug. Could be maybe crystal meth and beans, benzodiazepines, okay? So once he found his choice of drug, he goes from his first stage of addiction to his second stage of addiction. Okay, now you're in the codependency phase. Now it becomes psychological and physical. Initially, psychological, we are experimental stage. Second stage, codependency becomes psychological and physical. The mind will tell you how good it is, the body will tell you how good it feels. So a person is trying to satisfy both. Anything addiction or going into addiction, he's trying to satisfy both. He's trying to satisfy his mind, he's trying to satisfy his body. The time he satisfies these 2 things, he becomes dependent. Once he becomes dependent, he goes to his third stage of addiction. That's chronic addiction. Once you're in chronic addiction, we need to understand it's no more psychological, it's physical. The mind don't need it, the body needs it. It's called psychosomatic. It means the body tells the mind what to do. The body tells the mind what to do. It's like a person who got sugar, maybe eat 1 week, clean cake down, sugar and rice, keep so he's get to normal. Similarly with an addict. Okay? Once he's psychosomatic, for him to do what he has to do, he will do it no matter what. It means if he has to sell his car, if he has to sell his phone, if he has to sell his clothes, if he has to sell his shoes, he do it. I had a patient who slept with his mother, she did well. I sat down with the mother, I asked the mother, why are you doing that? She reckoned me, brother, he goes to such a stage that I feel if I go out, if he goes out, he'll rape someone. So I gave him. A mother gave him to her son because she felt that he'll go outside and rape someone. Understand? I had another patient who's been raping his sister from the age of 6. She's 13. He's on crystal meth. He comes home every night at about 11, 12 o'clock. He rapes her and then goes to sleep. He rapes her. So I asked, I had a program in one of the masjids in Lens, and I remember she came up to me and she's talking to me. I thought she's joking. I thought there's something wrong with her. Because like my parents say, she got a jinnah or something. Yeah. So I gave her my card, man, and she started emailing me. And wallahi, by reading those emails, I started tearing, man. I said, I have to investigate this. And by doing that, I came to find out he's raping her for 7 years, man. His own sister. Understand? And alhamdulillah, when we started counseling her, alhamdulillah, even that girl who was raped by her mother's boyfriend today, alhamdulillah, she's qualified, she completed the varsity, they all move forward in life. Alhamdulillah. I have, I don't even know where to start, but I have patients that are coming to a stage where they're calling their wives. Okay, I have a patient there who is a qualified accountant, CA. Okay, he's about 25, 24, 25. His wife is young, 93-year-old. Okay, he put on to crack. Okay, so once a crack got finished, once a drug got finished, okay, he calls a Nigerian to pick his wife up for 1 hour. I have patients there that have born their children overnight. It's come to a stage where the Nigerians or the dealers have a crash behind their homes. So you come there, you born your child overnight, the child between the age of 1 and 3, you leave your child there overnight to collect them the next morning. If you come to our town of Krugersdorp, you'll find this guy sitting on the corner of the road, he's sitting with one leg and one arm. I settled that one guy, I took him to McDonald's over the road there, just to understand where he's coming from, and he explained me that what we normally do now is that we sell our body parts. We sell our body parts where we can help somebody else, but we need the money to sustain our drug habit. So we need to understand on what level addiction has gone into. Okay? It doesn't stop anywhere. It doesn't stop anyone. We need to understand it. There are 6 categories of the main categories of drugs. Okay, you got your cocaine, you got your opiates, you got your amphetamine and methamphetamines, you got your benzodiazepines, you have your THC, and you have your meth. Those are the 6 categories of drugs. Okay? Your gateway drug is your weed. Okay? But what families are not understanding, my son only smokes weed. He doesn't do anything else with his more designing. It's very important for us to understand. In the eyes of Allah, you steal 1 million rand or you steal 1 cent, you're a thief. There's no justification relating to that. Okay? So, but families are not understanding that there's no more one type of weed that you used to get 30, 40 years ago. Okay? You get cheese, you get chunk, you get skunk, purple haze, you get medicational, you get indoor, you get outdoor, you get greenhouse. Okay? You get all different types of weed. Okay? The main one the guys are using is chronic weed now. Chronic weed is mixed with liquid acid. They call it indoor. They treat in rooms like these where they have cubicles where they put the weed inside and they have a UV light where it sucks the liquid acid inside. And then what happens is that when a person starts using it, because acid being hallucinogenic, they start hallucinating. Okay, they start seeing things and hearing things. Then your mother will come there to the center and say, first do his treatment, inshallah, and then if you get a chance, you can see, he's got a talis and something you have to burn every night in his room. You know what jinnat is? I said, there's no jinnat. There's no jinnat. Give him some time, you see he'll be okay. Give him some time, he'll be okay. Why? Because he's smoking a hallucinogen. So weed, very dangerous. Okay? It will come to a stage that your thinking ability will come to a third of your age. Why? It will start damaging your dopamine in your brain. Once your dopamine are damaging your brain, it won't have enough energy to supply food to the serotonin glands. So we can have a problem with that aspect. That's why you see a lot of these guys that come there, they're like kids. They sit there, they can be elderly, but they sit and they joke and they laugh and they talk and they laugh at things that are not even there. Yeah? So we need to understand the dangers of weed. Okay? A lot of parents feel it's okay. My son is not doing anything but doing weed. Okay? So that's a gateway drug. That's where they start. And once they finish up there, from there they have to go to something higher. The second stage of drug is your COC. Is your coke and your crack. Both of them is cocaine. Crack is made from cocaine. It means cocaine, when it's cooked, it cooks into a crystal form, it becomes a stone. It means they use bicarb and they use speed. Now it's according to the amount of money that you have and what you can afford. You can buy the rocks according to percentage. That means 60-40 or 60-30 and 10. Or you can buy 70-20 and 10. It means 60% cocaine, 30% bicarb, and 30% speed, and 10% bicarb. Bicarb binds it together. Okay? Now the difference between them, what we need to understand is that when a person is using cocaine, he can snuff 1-2 lines in the morning, he can snuff 1-2 lines in the afternoon, and he can snuff 1-2 lines at night. But a person that is using crack can't. Because crack, once speed is induced in your system, your body needs it every 15 minutes. That's why we see people who are using crack, they sell everything they have. Whatever they have, they sell. I mean, once you get up in the morning, and you have your first hit, your body needs it all the time. By the time they come home, the shoes are gone, jeans are gone, the glasses are gone, sunglasses, everything is gone. While your body needs it every 15 minutes. Very, very dangerous. It's the highest form of drug. To give you an example, a 6-year-old that the mother got, he was still wearing diapers. I'll never forget. And when we sat there, I asked the mother, a 6-year-old, how did he pick up substance? How did he know how to use a drug? How did he know how to pick the pipe up? What she told me is that because of my husband's condition, what I did was I told him that every day, when you come back from work, after we finish the good school skills, at the school, work with the kids, after they have supper, all those things, when they go and sleep, I give him every day 200 to 300 to buy his drug, smoke it at night and go to sleep. I said, why do you do that? So if I don't do that, then every night he goes out, he either steals, he either pawns the things in the house, or I either borrow money from people, in the end I'm left with the baby. So I rather buy it for him and he can use his own. What used to happen is that he used to smoke, because we know that crack and cocaine is a paranoia drug. Okay? So every night, when everybody is sleeping, the husband goes to the lounge, on the coffee table, put his stuff there, put all his paraphernalia there, sits there and he drugs. And he came to a stage that even if he has one hit, he gets paranoid. He stands by the window, thinking there's a conspiracy outside. Okay, so he stands there and he can stand there for hours out looking at the window. And the youngster used to get up, middle of the night, come every day now and then, and after he came to a certain stage, that he used to lift up that pipe and light it. So when he came there, he came to a stage where his mother brought him to me, that when he used to get cravings, a 6-year-old used to start taking his skin out. He's got all small like holes in his arms and everywhere. His mother says he starts putting his skin out. Okay, when he needs it. 6 years old, guys. Okay? So we need to understand, like I explained, cocaine, crack cocaine, very dangerous. Then you got your amphetamines, methamphetamines. Then you got your meth. I need to explain about cat. 89% of the girls are hooked onto cat. Why? Because the most active ingredient in cat is ephedrine. Okay? Ephedrine is used more in stomach capsules, in stomach medication. Okay, so the person who's bioslim, or use one of those things, might take them maybe 1 year to lose 5 kilos. Understand? Use cat, 3 weeks. 3 weeks you're gone. Okay? But the balance of the ingredients of cat is detergents. It means it's your sodium glycol, hydroxide, toluene, acetone, and lane. Those are the 5 other ingredients of it. And the lane, if you look in the back of a drain cleaner, you see something called the lane. Once you throw lane, once the lane hits the drain, it bursts open. Somebody does it to your brain. It messes your whole brain up. But you will lose your thinking ability. And you lose a lot of weight. Okay? I remember if something comes to my mind, man, I'll never forget when someone around nowadays, maybe I shift here and there, mouth, man. I got so much on my mind. Somebody told me that, I'm going to think you need to go for counseling, man. I said, probably if I go, you'll need a 50 hard drive. And I think maybe the counselor will go into a coma. You have to give them history for 20 years. Understand? One day some of my friends that were in the CPF, they called me up, they got a call out, be looking for a young girl, man, And so I said, one of these guys want to join you guys, and let's see what you guys are doing. So alhamdulillah, one day they picked me up, I went with them. So as we were driving, and one of the masjid we seen far back in the masjid, we seen a car park there, So we went there, and we asked the occupants to get off. Understand? And there were 2 children in the car. One was maybe 18, and one was 17. Okay? The boy was a Hindu, the girl was a Muslim. Both of them were naked. Understand? So they got out of the car. Okay, we searched the car. Not me, the CPF guys. They found weed. They found cat. They found alcohol and stuff like that. So we thought, because being a young Muslim girl, let's take her to her parents. And so we put her in a car. Okay. And as we were coming to her house, there was a golf park outside. So she said, "Uncle, please, uncles, please." We said, "What you call me? Taking your parents?" She said, "Uncle, please. When you go inside, don't tell them where you found me." I said, "Why?" "You said that the guy with the black golf is my fiancé." So what we need to understand is that drugs will deprive you of everything. Drugs will deprive you of your education. Drugs will deprive you of work, your family, your wife, your children, everything. That's why I tell most of the recovery ladies that understand something, you lose your life. You'll never get sukoon, you'll never get contentment in your life. Okay. Then we have, so cat mostly used now by ladies as well. Okay. I was explaining to some of the ladies earlier that 70% of our calls on a daily basis are for girls. But we don't have a girls' facility. Alhamdulillah, we've built, our money is ready, we're just busy with renovations, and now we're waiting for the registration to come through. If they come through, our problem there, the most important part of the girls' facility is to have the security well done. Because our concern is that, not the girls jumping out. Our concern is if somebody jumps in. Understand? And the girls don't need money. So it's easy, very easy for the girls to get substance. Even currently now, a lot of our girls are in prostitution. You need to understand that. I was called that day, quite a while back. We couldn't find a girl, and we landed up in Hillbrow in the Sands Hotel. And I remember I went upstairs, wasn't too tired or anything, and this girl was 17 years old. She said, "Can uncle do me a favor? Give me 10 and do what you want." 10 grand. So I asked him, actually, why are you keeping her here? He reckons she owes me $300. But what I'm doing now is that I'm tired of her. So every time she wants another piece, I'll call a Nigerian to use her and give her one piece. Young child. I had to pick her up and take her home. What do I explain to parents where they'll find her? One day he called me from one of the, okay, I don't mention the name, not far from Mahalisburg. We were looking for the girl. After doing all the investigations, we found out that she was last seen speaking to some guys in the Kabristan. From that Kabristan, we found out who she was speaking to. She ended up in Lens. We found her in extension 10. Extension 10, we found her late at night, 4 o'clock in the morning. I walked in the house, a mother opened. We were so angry, she showed up where they were. This girl was with her son in another room with another 3 guys. When I seen her, they injected her with heroin. So we have to be very, very careful with the condition of our children, where our children go and what our children do. Okay. So other category of drug I'm going to now is crystal meth. Currently is the highest form of stimulant. I had a guy that asked his mother for 15 and she refused. He burned the car. I had another guy that he asked his mother for money. He just so badly she had to go for a jaw transplant. Okay. Currently, because of crystal has become such a drug, the guys are beating their parents up, beating their families up. They're doing whatever it takes. I got a mouth man. I had alhamdulillah, we got the one child now into a facility. A mother who was on crystal meth. She put her from a prominent locality. I think I don't want to mention the locality. The mother put her 2 daughters. She made her 2 daughters prostitutes, 13 and 17. And she runs it from her house. Understand? She runs it from her house. Why? To sustain her addiction, and now they become addicts as well. So alhamdulillah, one has agreed to go to a facility. We've got the money to a facility. The other one is refusing to go to a facility. Now we're looking at a 13-year-old and a 16-year-old who have become prostitutes because of the mother's addiction. The mother is on crystal meth. So we have to sometimes sit back and reflect and understand the severity of the drug problem. Wallahi, we need to take an active role. Okay, we have to take an active role in recovery. We need to understand recovery. My main, I sort of finish the other category of drug. We have our opiates. Okay, a lot of people from the medical faculty. I get a lot of people coming, a lot of doctors coming in there, a lot of pharmacists coming in there, a lot of opticians coming in there for pethidine. Okay, they're injecting pethidine. Okay. We get a lot of doctors, a lot of medical doctors coming in there, they're coming in for benzodiazepines. Okay? Then you got your opiates, it's codeine. A lot of people coming there for still pain. Okay? Levocin forte, Bronclear. A lot of them are cross addiction. It means they're going from a stimulant like cocaine and crack, they're going into prescription drugs. Okay? And this now the new thing in our school is called leaning. The kids are leaning. That means they're drinking either Sprite or Coke with coffee mixture inside. Okay? So it comes to a stage where it becomes a hallucinogenic and the body needs it. Because like we know, codeine becomes a physical drug. So once you stop codeine, you start prostrating. It means you start getting physical withdrawal symptoms. Okay? And the withdrawal symptoms are absolutely very, very severe. Okay? So a lot of time, we don't realize that our own families, our own parents in our home have addiction for codeine. Because Martin can bring a still pain. Okay? Not realizing they don't want the still pain, they need the codeine. Okay? Because the codeine is something that it calms and relaxes you down. Yeah? So that's our opiates. And the other addiction, other thing we have is our benzodiazepines. Benzodiazepines to help a person sleep. Okay? That means, a lot of the guys are using 542s, okay? A lot of people are using Valium, Dominos, using all these things, yeah? But the most famous ones are 542. Benzodiazepine, we take 1 or 2, it will help you sleep for 8 hours. If I must take 1 to 8 hours, I can sleep on a flight lovely. But once your tolerance level become above 4 or 5, it no more makes you sleep. It makes you high. Your body needs to function. It comes to a stage that you don't know what you're doing. Okay? Sometimes you feel you're okay, but you miserable. Okay? You become a pain, like a parasite, like a mosquito, you buzz around everyone. Okay? So you become a pain and a nuisance to everyone. Very, very, very dangerous. And most of the kids today find it easy. Why? It's something easy to sustain. It was before, I remember, like I said, it was very, very cheap, 60, 70 bucks a box. Okay? Now they're buying it on the black market for up to 700 to 800 rand per card. Okay? Very, very bad. I mean, we've got guys there that are hooked in such a level that they can't control it. Okay? So we have, that's our 6 categories of drugs. Okay? People have a choice, whether either you're a stimulant or a downer. Our main concern now is that when we send our patients to either a psychiatrist or either psychiatric evaluation, whatever it is, they are diagnosing them with bipolar or schizophrenia, okay? But not understanding that because of the addictive behavior and the addictive personality, okay, you're putting them onto prescription drugs, but not understanding that they already have addictive behavior. So sometimes, under assessing it and finding out that they either have a chemical imbalance or a drug-induced psychosis, we are diagnosing with bipolar. So they're putting on either Epilim, on Risnia, they're putting them on topical, Chocoline and all this stuff, yeah? But not understanding that now you're getting them addicted to something different because they already have addictive personality. So it's very important for us to diagnose if you are people here from the medical sector, it's very important for us to have the ability to diagnose and edit and understand and edit, because otherwise you're shifting in from one situation to another. And you make it even worse, because why? You become a zombie. So we have that situation, and I think we don't have time. Next time, inshallah, we have to carry on. We have to have a second program. I think very important also is when we finish here, the most important part is the Q&A. People have to ask, because we don't know what's happening in society, okay? Like I explained, 70 to 80% of criminal activity, wife abuse, child abuse, molestation, rape cases, all drug related. Okay, so it's very important that we open up. My main concern is that we have to open up support groups everywhere. Every town needs a support group. Alhamdulillah, we have these ladies here from the support group in Lens. This is run by the Islamic Handline. These ladies here, alhamdulillah, a couple of the brothers are here as well. We're running the support group for the past 20 years. Okay, I was just speaking to one of the ladies.